Okay, we're live. We're doing this again. Hopefully everyone's good. Again, I'll be on push to talk and pretty much continuing off where I was yesterday. So, just say hello again. Yeah. There we go, cool. Alright, let's get on with it. Right, where are we at? Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's overrun the vertex attributes. We'll figure it out. I think first we should delete the data that we didn't clean up yesterday. Yeah, let's save us 3 megs, 300 megabytes of RAM. Yeah, weird. I should also confirm I haven't broke something. Still looking good, so it's definitely to do with the new change we've added, which is what I expected, but you gotta check. You gotta check these type of things. Sometimes you can be debugging the wrong thing, and all sorts goes wrong. Okay. wonder if these X and Y values are important. I'm not exactly sure what they do. Oh, okay, so the height and width. It's the same as these. Okay, not terribly important then. Yeah, because... Yeah, okay, so... I know 100% that the textures are 1024, so... Alright, that's good to know. I also don't error check if something's null, so I should be doing that. Texture resources, not okay. Yeah, did that there. Okay, I'm not entirely sure where to look, to be honest, but we'll see. Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate that comment. Hope you're doing well. Just trying to fix a terrible... Well, something's happening with shader buffers. Data's getting overridden. Just trying to pinpoint where around in this code things could get overridden or corrupted. It's not exactly clear what the smoking gun would be, because we have accesses for the vertex attributes. These are built up. I think something's disturbed this this buffer that we create here. Meaning when we upload this buffer via our descriptor set with the pipeline layout, we get some corruption. It's possible it's not aligned, but I was very explicit with the alignment. Alright, let's go back to our irregular model that works, and I'll pad this out so it is properly 16 byte aligned, and then we'll be able to see if it breaks or not based on that alignment on the original model that works which would be good. Okay, so that doesn't break the shader, the model. Now, did that change anything with the other one? It doesn't work. Yeah, because we clearly have some kind of weird alignment issue, I think. Or at least I hope. I'm not entirely sure what the problem would be outside of that. I think I need to compare the images to see if there's any difference between the two. Good old print screen will work for that. I know I could quantize these values down, but I thought it would be simpler for now to leave them as floats, because that means they're at least you know, they take up one piece of one slot when using what is it called? Standard. What am I using? I'm using, yeah, standard 140. So I thought that'd be easier. I know I'm kind of wasting space here, so I will come back to quantize these. Like, I don't need to use full floats for that. I can use halves and things like that. Anyway. It's definitely a different issue, that one. So yeah, anyway, we should ignore that one. Yeah, let's see what difference is. Don't think there's any difference at all. No. So things are either already, either that padding didn't fix anything, or alright. Let's try and rule out things then. Alright, so I'm gonna get rid of this. This is extra guff. It just doesn't seem to fix anything. Yeah, because I'm not even sure that SSBOs can even be aligned. Do I even use these anymore? Why are these here? Oh, these are out variables. Sorry. Interesting. So that has changed something clearly. That's what... No, that's what it was before. Interesting. I wonder if I broke things by doing that. Yeah, okay. Interesting, interesting. I did. Okay. That's information. I'm kind of curious now. Is the uniform data... Is it one or the other? Am I mixing these two up? Let's yeah, let's see. No, need a line eyes up there. Actually, it's already my clipboard. Okay. So let's see what that did. Okay. Back to things being fixed. With that model at least. This is a peculiar one because I feel like I've uploaded the same data. It's just textures are now using a different method. And that's the same as before. Okay. It's possible I'm interfering with a different buffer, like the index buffer. Because when I'm running the texture coordinates don't seem wrong. Although obviously the geometry's all messed up. It's like the fragments are able to find a piece of geometry. Yeah, if I zoom out, what would cause this to happen? Let's have a look from the top. Yeah, it's like the index buffer's wrong. And I don't know why that would be the case if textures are uploaded differently. Huh. It's clearly, yeah, because the vertex attributes. If the vertex attributes in a shader storage buffer object are incorrect when multiplied by a perspective. Let's see if I can scale these actually, that'll be a bit more information. Okay, so yeah, all the multiplications in the shader that do transforming of geometry of models on the vertex attribute seems to be good, but it looks like the index buffer's gone wrong, which is interesting. Yeah, because the general shape of the model's here, but it's just for some reason, yeah, it's all over the place. Hey man, how you doing, Khalid? Hope your day's going well. Just trying to debug this at the moment. This bird's nest of a model. I think something's gone wrong with the index buffer, so yeah, we'll get around to that. Yeah. Yeah, it's always important to have error checking for sure. It's one of those things, yeah. I really should have tests, but the engine is in the early days that it's not really necessary at the moment, because I can keep track of everything at least. One step at a time though. We'll get there. Yeah, I can just pull out a void star, right, and just index into that. You know what? I'm gonna convert to a uint32t pointer type just so I get numbers. I don't know what I'm gonna get with a void star. What I'm gonna do is just compare the differences between the two different models and see what's actually in them. It's possible when I load in textures in one way that the indices are different for some reason. So that would cause things to break. Yeah, I'm not sure at the moment what the actual error is. I don't think you've seen this before, but let me just run you through it. I guess it's good to talk about these things. It helps me as well. So I'm loading in a GLB file, which has all its images in with the data. So I'm loading it as like a raw piece of data, which it seems to be correctly getting, but for some reason the shader buffer object, that I think it's the index buffer now, so I'll show you the index buffer. For some reason the index buffer has got corrupted for some reason, and that's what I'm trying to figure out at the moment. So if I see the indices that are different when loading one model in, it's possible that for some reason this particular model either doesn't have good indices or the different loading of textures is wrong or something. You could probably chunk every routine that spits out what is corrupted or not loading, etc. Chunk a routine? What do you mean by chunk? I'm willing to try it if it's something I could do. I think this is not working. Because of that. Int 8. Right. Let's give that a shot. Okay, 0, that's more like it. Okay, so we have 0, 0, 1, 0, 3, 0. Okay. So that's correct. I've seen this in these indices before. I think actually I like it with this particular model at least. One less. Okay. That's true actually. Yeah, I could be loading in. I could be thinking I'm loading in data right, but I'm not at all. You know what? I haven't thought of that. I'll give that a shot. For now, I'm just going to go over the indices for 2 different versions of the model. See if there's any difference on the actual index buffer. But yeah, that's something I'll try to see if the data coming in is different than what I expect based on this second model. Because it could have been corrupted somehow. Right, okay, let's just check what that is again. So this is the one that works. Okay, yeah, so 001 202. I'm a bit paranoid actually. Hopefully this doesn't break things. Just taking a screenshot. Loading a different model now. Oh, that's a good point actually. I wonder if there is a different yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Okay. I've got some things to look at now. What I might do, because this model is, I have messed with it for a long time. I might get the original model, open it up in Blender, save it as GLB, and, you know, at least we know that's not messed with. I think the other one... Okay, yeah, okay, one thing at a time. But yeah, thanks for the suggestions, Khalid. Appreciate you. Okay, yeah, so broken texture. Okay, so let's see what the index buffer is. I know it's a small sample size, but considering how broken it was, I suspect if their index buffer is different, we shall see a completely different set of 6 numbers. Okay. Oh, well there you go. Is that completely wrong? Absolutely junk. Yeah, these are complete junk. Yeah, 255, 216, 255. Completely different from these. This is correct. Alright. I don't know what's gone wrong, but the model could be broken. Yeah, so those were completely wrong. Yeah, we've got to make a new model. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. I have stuff in mind that's in that state, so I just need to correct the file paths. Yeah, I'm going to re-export. That's what I'm going to do. I didn't know this about models breaking. I barely know how to use this software, to be honest, though. Pretty bad at Blender. Import. There we are. Right. Ah, that's good. So you're pretty familiar with everything to do with modeling. I've just stuck to 3D programming without having to dive into Blender, although I feel like it does hurt me that I don't know very well. So it's cool that you know you're working with it and making progress and stuff. Oops. Build assets for now. GLB, yep. Cool. So now we have a new model to play with. Excuse me 1 minute, I have to do something. I'll be back. Yeah, totally. I agree with that. It's just for me, it's a priority game where it's like learning how to use Blender really well, for example, is like I know it's important, but there's so many other things to do that I never often get around to it. But I'm aware that I should know these things better. And you're not wrong, guy. Yeah, I should work on that. So, we didn't even check if the model's there. Let's see. And sponsor 5, okay. Which is the one we just exported. Interesting. I thought I'd put a breakpoint in, but I guess not. And also it's wrong in a different way. Okay. Huh. Okay, so the indices are different again. Give me a moment, I'm going to look at a different engine that I've built. The wider goal of this is... Yeah. Yeah, I know, it's one of those things where you always start stuff. But yeah, I'll try and get around to it. Eventually TM, as you always tell yourself. But anyway, so this is a second engine that I can look at that's bloated and a bit of a pain to use, but it at least has this part correct, so I can at least look at the indices that it spits out, which would be in here. Right, I do this per draw call. Then I append all these to an array, and then I reorder them for optimization reasons. I wonder if that's saving me. Okay, so there's the buffer. Is this a descriptor set? Yeah, one moment, let me compile this engine. No, that's not right. Give me a second. DGT train simulator. Yeah, go for it. If you want to make a whole new train simulator, that would be cool. I mean, I was talking to a guy who's working on models to do with planes and stuff, and he does like a plane simulator game. It seems pretty fulfilling. I don't know this train simulator stuff, but it's, you know, I know how much hard work it goes into that. So I'm just breaking this on purpose so I can find out where this is used. Holy warnings. I need to get rid of these. Okay. There. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it kind of sucks when game companies are like that. Yes, I mean, people often say, like, in the game dev space that you don't need, you know, to make your own game engine, but, you know, there are reasons for it. And so, yeah, totally. Right. Should have just done that. It's weird. Set name. No. I'm confused. So this works, right? I can see what you're saying there, yeah. Oh well. I guess you've got some motivation to make your own train simulator now. Okay, so we've got this working in this for some reason. Now my question is, if I just leave this empty, does this even get used in this engine? Because this should completely not work at all. Alright, yeah, okay, so that was never used anyway. Good to know, good to know. That I've got useless buffers lying around in my old engine. Oh dear. Yeah, this is a large reason why I'm making my going over my old engine and fixing things and porting it to a new one. There's lots of little things like this all over the place. I can see that, yeah. Makes sense. I mean, there's a lot more mechanics, I guess, you need to consider. So, like, it needs to be a bit more... I don't know if this might... I don't know if they even do this, but, like, maybe it would even be a good idea to have in those type of games physics-based animation, you know, for that realism kind of bend to things. I know that's not common in, you know, most people just animate in a tool or something, and then. But I've seen like software that physically moves the joints independent of like a file animation. So, you know, let's just say, I don't know, you have an arm and you blow it off with a gun or something. Like, then, you know, that can still animate even though it's separate from the body because it's a separate physical entity. It's not even animated separately. It's just literally physics animating itself. That might be a terrible idea though. So I'm going to try and extract out what the indices of these are at the same position in this engine to see what it works out. It's definitely doing something different when pulling the indices out of a model, but this seems wrong to me. It just seems like I'm just getting a generic. I'm just getting the buffer rather than the index buffer. But I'll work through that in a minute. Let's just see what's in it. If it is just the buffer, hang on. And I index into it, it won't be just the index buffer, it'll be everything, I think. Alright, let's just see what's in it. But that could be the case, where it's just... oh, yeah. Let's add that in. Oops. Triple I for no reason. I don't know if the word index is used somewhere else, so... space that out. 1, 2, 3. Let's do 14, 15, 16. And we know what these values are already because we're loading the same model. I think. Is it 15? Yeah, okay. Breakpoints. So I don't think this will just be indices, but let's see. Oh, that's good. Is okay. I remember looking at physics, and it was yeah, physics is like I remember looking at the documentation. It just felt really old. But I'm glad there's something on GitHub, and it's open source. Is it open source? Yeah. Cool. Because I was going to use Jolt, so I was looking at different physics engines. Right, let's have a look at these. Huh. Okay. That's good. I'll have to look at it again. Physics, yeah, I remember it being very old. Something to reconsider. Yeah, thanks for letting me know about that. It's not like software goes out of date. I mean, physics doesn't really change, but you would want updates and stuff to make sure things are fix mistakes and that kind of thing. So. I wonder if the offset. Interesting. These are basically just added together in this function. I don't know why it exists. So if we add these two together, we get the raw indices. I wonder what the differences between these guys then. That might replicate what we had before. Let's see. Equals that. 1, 2, 3. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, because I remember with PhysX, there was a big issue with the fact it didn't work with the 40 series and 50 series graphics cards at one point. And I had to fall back to like software mode. So that's a really good step forward actually. If it's actually using the GPU, if that's what the GPUs are using. So clearly they're getting updated to work with things properly again. I mean, I'm not quite sure about that story. It's been a while ago since I've read about it. Again, I haven't looked at physics engines in a while. Okay, so they're the indices. Where the raw indices? Okay, interesting. What? Okay, they're not the same again. I want to. Okay. Okay, now I've got to check something else. I've got to check the CGLTF has an unpack indices. So, what's in that? Yes, that was it. Yeah, I was running software mode. So it's probably not the 50 series then. Clearly must have fixed it. What is this called? Unpack indices. That's what left it. I'm going to go with we want the accessor. That's the accessor type. What does it need? Accessor. Oh, I forgot how you get the accessor now. I think it's in here. Find out, yeah. Alright. CGLTF position. Yeah, I'm trying to load a specific. Yes, it is GLTF, but it's a GL. I'm trying to load GLB files. It's possible. I'm starting to think that I've made a bad assumption in my other code here. When it comes to indices, and because I've only worked with one so far in this engine anyway, and I'm pulling out the indices wrong. So that's why I'm just trying to see. Like it works for one case, but it doesn't work for others. So I'm just trying to see. Okay, so with this model that works in here but doesn't work in this engine, what are the indices at different you know, because there's multiple ways of getting at the indices. So trying to extract that data out, just try and, yeah. I swear I used this somewhere else in the code. Okay. Oh, right. Indices. It was here the whole time. Right, I'm going to move this up then. I don't think it matters where it is. I don't need to rewrite code I've already written. Okay. So in this array, alright, stop doing that for a minute. Unit 32 unpacked index 0. Yeah, that might be a shout actually. I might do that. If I keep being stuck by this, yeah, because actually, have I looked at open source CGLTF code before? I don't think I have actually. Yeah, that'd be a shout. I'll give that a shot after a bit of googling. Right. But clearly something's different between these versions and them. Okie dokie. So unpacked. Okay, so unpacked is the same as an offsetted thingy-majig. And yeah, if I just index into these like this, that's not right. Now, yeah, I often skip that step a bit of looking at other people's code. I'm pretty I always think I'm one step away, so I'll have to be disciplined and look at other people's code. It's always like, I'm almost there. You know, 4 hours later, I'm still on the same problem. Classic. Right, okay, so we know, oops. I just want to see what the difference is between this. This is like one that hasn't been touched. So let's have a look. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, I've made a mistake here because this is different. This is like the original. I think. 14. Oh, I'm getting confused with this. Yeah, okay, so 16.3. Yeah, okay. So clearly this is invalid. Or at least you need to offset into the buffer correctly Ah, okay. I think when I'm uploading index data, I'm not offsetting into the buffer, and the GLTF file that's not been messed with, its index buffer is at the beginning it's called buffer something. I think it's literally just the buffer file, the .bin file. And I think I've always made that assumption that the index buffer is always at the beginning, which, sorry, the index part, the model is at the beginning, and I don't think that's true every single time. Yeah, and I think I want to be using these numbers, and they are either offsetted by, I'm going to say the buffer view of the index, or I can just unpack them via a function call. Okay. Yeah, bad news. Definitely hard-coded paths. I'm don't worry, it's all debug stuff that I'll eventually get rid of. For example, I've got like an audio library. Sorry, an audio library. Some audio code that uses Linux and Windows file system stuff to just pick up all the files inside a directory. So when I come around to actually loading assets, I'll be doing that kind of thing. Oh, hey, dude. Thank you, man. Thanks. I'll try try my best. Yeah, thanks for setting up a system. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, with file paths, you end up with a different thing on a different operating system. So yeah, I've written operating system code before to handle pathing, but again, it's all debug stuff at the moment. Right. Okay. So let's get back into this. Right. Okay. Let's see. If I add the buffer view offset and give me a second. Gotta make sure I don't do the cast first. Add. What did I do? Oops. Yeah. It's a pain in the neck. Although I do have a consistent file structure in the sense that everything's always in the asset folder if I actually want to look up something. But you are right. I've got to guard against trickery and operating system stuff. So raw indices. Primitive. Oh, what am I doing? Indices, buffer, offset. Okay, let's oh, it's not the offset. Oh, I don't think you can do that, can you? What I'm trying to do. Because it's a void pointer. Yeah. I'm kind of curious it will overrun. But anyway, let's see the difference. Interesting. They hold the same value. Let's see what happens if I just set the data up. Comment this out for a minute. Indices, they're in this is the buffer creation stuff. Right, let's have a look. Oops. Go to that. Ah, okay. That's more what I expected to happen. What was it before? It's a good idea to separate content. Oof. Yeah, trying some. Ugh, I can't imagine what that's like. Accidentally overriding something on an engine you don't own. Yeah. I will eventually break up this into more projects that make more sense. Again, the engine's still quite. It's in the early days, so it's, you'll probably find that, look, I'm writing a lot in just the main. If you know anything about programming, that's typically what you're not supposed to do that. But again, kind of just testing things here. So the goal is just to simplify this. I should get rid of this actually. Simplify all this down. Yeah, I don't need these. Because this engine's got too many code paths and all sorts of things wrong with it. Yeah, I can tell, Khalid. You seem pretty knowledgeable. I mean, I've been programming a while as well, but there's always more to learn, so I'm always open to listen. Yeah, let's watch it crash again. Let's see. What am I doing wrong? Read access violation because... Because what? Well, the values don't... I mean, it's hard to look into these. Let's see. Is this... Oops. Yeah, okay, so it's definitely to do with that. Which, no surprise there. Thank you. Well, yeah. I think that says more about AAA than it does about my engine, I have to admit. Yeah, my code is pretty buggy. That's pot. No, is the dispointer broken? No. I think the memory's too big. Yo, yeah, yeah. I'm always open for feedback. No one's 100% an expert, no matter how good you are, in my opinion. And I think it helps me personally because I can talk about the problem. Scratch allocator, error type primitive, mesh primitive, mesh primitive. What are you complaining about? Can I give an assignment list of... Oh. Yeah, it wants you in data. Really? You can't be implicit about that. Unless there's already an indices or something. Bro. Ah, okay. My bad. I mean, it's probably a good idea to convert anyway. Okay, so we don't care about this. What I'm interested in is this the entire set of indices, or is it just for one air quotes primitive? It'd be the same every time if it was the same for every primitive. Okay. Ah, that sucks. They don't listen to you. I don't know. I guess they just prioritize profit. It's unfortunate considering the fans make the company what it is. It would be at least useful if they actually said, yeah, we can't work on this for this reason or whatever. Yeah, I can imagine that's quite frustrating. Okay, so this will be the same every time for each primitive. I'm going to comment this out for a minute because this is just crashing and not compiling. Ah, I do need current index buffer. Alright, we'll just put this back to the way it was. Okay. And we'll pull out the indices. Equals to same as before. Yeah, I think I might look for example code soon. Because it'd be interesting to see though. Although I haven't solved the problem, I'm making progress at least. I'm learning even. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so this is the 0, 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so is this per primitive? Yes, okay. So this will be paired draw call. So this is like an index buffer paired draw call, even though it's different from what we looked at earlier. Yeah, we could just keep reallocating the I mean, let's try it. I mean, we've got nothing to lose to make this pair draw call rather than just one go. Okay. Instead of that, data. And okay. So that's indices pair draw call. Okay. Oh. Boo. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I did. Okay. So yeah, the size was wrong. I hope this isn't massive, but we'll see. System, I'm working on porting a new game engine. So I've got an old game engine here. I'm doing a giant refactor. Currently, I found that models in the GLB format aren't working. It looks like I've incorrectly coded index buffers to work, so everything goes haywire. And now we've got a validation error. So it looks like it's not happy with what I've done. I think, again, I haven't set up the offsets properly. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. It's yeah, as you can see in the title, it's written in Vulkan and C++. So that error there is telling me that I've got the offsets wrong in the index buffer. It's like I've exceeded what I'm allowed to use, which makes sense. I don't think we even have an offset. I think that's the problem. If we pull the index buffer out directly, then all the data is indexed without any offset. And I think that's what was wrong. Yeah, it's just fiddly, isn't it? I'm glad I've found this error, to be honest. It's important to fix this. Nope, it didn't like that at all. Okay, so give me a second. I need to check my index buffer binding. Index buffer offsets. Ending offset of the bytes is greater than the index buffer size. An ending offset. Okay. Yeah, a lot of this I wouldn't definitely count myself as an expert on this, by the way. It's definitely, I'm still learning every day when it comes to all this kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, so it's clearly my index count is less than the buffer offset. It's clearly a larger number, this guy. Ah, maybe. Does this count change every single time? Yeah, at least I'm getting somewhere, yeah, because, you know, I originally thought this was to do with textures when I started this stream. Clearly not, right? 94,308. Okay. What to do? Let's think. Draw count. No, it's not related. Trying to think what would be the offset and what would be the count then. Let's see. Let's get the buffer view offset in. There's no offset here, is there? Okay, there is. And let's get the buffer view offset. Is that the same deal? Oop. Zero. Okay, so that's huge. That might be for the every single. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's for everything. I'm not sure why. Yeah. I'm assuming this is always 0. The top one. Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming this is, yeah. This moves around, but I don't think it's specific. Trying to think, what do I need this to be then? Yeah, let's just be certain that there's no extra thing going on here. Because that is the size of this current buffer. But it's definitely these values that aren't correct. I think it makes sense not just to add 0, but this, because it's possible something else is there. Now, the count. Okay, let's go from there. I don't think I changed anything though, so. $25, interesting. Oh no, well, we're on 0. Of course. Derp. Index size 2 times by all this. Index size 2. Okay, so index size x blah blah blah, all that must be less than or equal to the bound index buffer index size. It's literally double for some reason. Yeah, I mean the warning doesn't help as much, but it's like it's almost like that needs to be the case, which I don't understand why. Ta-da! What the hell? Okay. Why did 2 times the buffer size allow me to store an index buffer? Obviously it's incorrect, but very strange. I mean, No, I just think that's just coincidence that that happened to be more or less looking similar to a normal looking version. Yeah, inside it's just gibberish. Okay, let's test this with the other model. Yeah, progress at least for sure. Yeah, gotta stay positive. Different errors, more information. Okay, so it didn't like that at all. So the offset is this. Okay, so yeah, the other model doesn't like that, what I did. And I'm guessing that's because, give me a minute. Oh no, sorry, where am I? Main. I have a feeling that we expect it to be 0 every single time now. And if we don't, it crashes. No, not for Blender. Okay, so it doesn't crash. Is this the same looking model though? Weird. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm on Blender 4.0. I don't know what the oops, Blender downloads. Let's see what we're up to. All right, we're on 5. Yeah, I need to update Blender. Right, okay. I will... Yeah, I'll install Blender, I think. Yeah, it's 5.1, right. So you got 5.0.1, right. Okay, let's... yeah, we can do this. Oh, yeah, Windows, please. Yeah, it's probably best to update this, even if it doesn't make a difference. It's just going to cause problems in the future if I don't, if I keep it, you know, out of date. That's good. I would hope so. Okie dokie. Close these for now. I don't even know where my original Blender is. I don't think it's there. Hmm? Installation. In the meantime, we can look at other stuff. Right. Okay. I know why it was going wrong. Oops. I was unpacking 4 indices for a given array of indices. I don't know what the rest of the values would be. They would be junk. So yeah, it looks like I need to pull out the correct sized components. I don't know what this value is, but it's definitely this is definitely correct now. And we're not relying on that hack that we had earlier that I didn't know was a bug. Yes, we got there, guys. Woo! Celebration. It's good. Progress, progress, progress. Yes, I'm not handling that properly. That's understandable. Okay, let's see while we continue to install Blender. Blender's installed, but we'll open that in a second because now I need to check the other model. Is that now behaving properly? Now we've solved it. Where is it? There it is. There's our macro. Okay, so that's the one that works with our new system. GLB5. Fingers crossed. Yo! I did not expect that to work. Okay, so this is the GLB file. Okay, that is an actual victory. Oh, that feels good. Okay, so now both file formats are supported. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. That's fine. I mean, I should be updating my software anyway. But yeah, that's a W. Let's go. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for all the help as well. Okay, yeah, so I'll re-export this model anyway. It is. Sometimes you just got to stick at something. And then I just need to clean up my code, document it, and then push it, and then test it on Linux. And then hopefully everything's good and we can move on to the next thing. Okay. Cool. GLB. Yeah, this is why I think it's useful to have, you know, other people's feedback. Oops, what am I doing? Color sponsor 5. Cool, cool. Let's rerun that again after the new export. Yeah, because, you know, discussing it helped me out a lot. Yeah, okay, so brilliant. Great, great, great. Let's clean up the code. Yeah, I'll leave that there for now. Min maps are supported. Okay. Yeah, okay, so that's just a duplicate. Yeah, we are always having them at 0. We don't need this anymore. Yeah, I'm not going to support Mac. It doesn't really support Vulkan very well. I mean, there's a translation layer, but like you, I don't own a Mac, and yeah, Linux is a bit awkward sometimes, but it's yeah, it is what it is with it. It makes me a better programmer to get both working, really. Okay, right, and I'm going to pull this out. I think it's a bit scruffy having a function there that does that. Component size, something like that. That'll do. Cool. This, I wonder if I can get rid of. I wonder if it has to be. This is the only thing I don't understand. Why is this having to be 2 times? Let's see. I wonder if it was what it was before. You know, we had a bad index buffer. And that's what caused. No, okay, no. It index size 2. Index size. I don't like a magic number there. It's not good. I wonder if I can get the index size, whatever that means. Let's get rid of this as well. We don't need that. Index size 2. So this is a multiple of this sum. This sum even. And I don't know if the library can detect that. Whatever that means. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Apple's just a pain in the neck with the closed garden mindset. Sucks for the people who actually own it, but you know. I guess Apple owners aren't typically gamers. And I should as well get marker. This is just for memory efficiency. I'm not using this anywhere else, am I? Oh, I am. Right, I'll move this up. Since we've got more data now. This is so we can pop stuff off the stack that we're using for our memory allocators. I will include this index here with the stack allocator. Okay, that didn't break at least. It shouldn't be. Yeah, okay, so we're using less memory now, which is exactly what I like to see. Okay. This, though, I do not understand. Index size. Index size. Huh. Could be this. You know what? We have access to this. I was looking at the wrong thing. I'm just wondering if this index size variable that that's 2 times the actual buffer is stored in here somewhere in this library, so we don't have to have times 2 the size, which is not good because it could be like stride or something. Type it? No. That's just generic. Is it stride? I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. Apple be Apple, I guess, with their decisions. Let's get out the indice and see what the stride value is. If it's 2, then that might be it. Let's see what this says. Okay. Stride 2. I'm going to say that's why we need type 2 times. I need to look into this a bit more. But it's the only size variable that makes sense to use. Oops. Okay. Cool. And see, the thing I need to do is actually free the memory. Okay, I can do that. Free the memory. No, a resource pool. We're not freeing the textures. Yeah, I do track it. I've got a couple of things here that are tracking my memory. As you can see, this is a memory tracker. I mean, it's not great, but it does tell me that stuff's being allocated at particular points in the program, and it tells me that I'm familiar with this resource pool thing. This is a resource pool data structure that gives this particular type of error, and I know no name dot no name is a texture with no name, and it's here. So it's when we create this guy and append it, we aren't freeing the resources on close, which we need to do. Do I? Okay, let's see. Yeah, at least it's a bit useful. Again, I'll pad these out when I get further along. Image. Pad these out. I mean, make it more useful. Image count. Which we actually increment, and then gpu.destroy texture, and I think that I just want to go image is to image count. Now how do I destroy recess pools? Oh, texture handles. It wants a texture handle. Okay, that's just doing that. I think this is correct. We'll come back to it if it isn't. Not correct. Where? This should be easy, but my brain's starting to turn to mush, I'm not going to lie. Texture resource. Yeah, that's a resource. Okay. Let's peek again. We're so close. Just gotta stick with it a bit longer. We'll get there. How long have we been streaming? Let's have a look at that quick. Nice. 2 hours. Nice. Yeah, I'm very close. I am very close. Oops. Yeah. How do I free resources again? Okay, question. Does the same issue happen with the other file loading method? That's what I've got to figure out now. And if not, why? What is it doing different? Let's see. Oh, went too far. Yes, that's what I'm after. Huh? VK image handle. Oh, hang on. I know where that happened. Oh, we're in the wrong thing. Go there. Yeah, this is wrong. I need to not use that. Okay, let's try that. Oops, let's try that again. Yeah, it's tricky. The I'm not using the standard template library in C++. I'm using like a different version, so it's a bit more explicit. You've got to destroy things and allocate things explicitly. It makes things more hard. It makes things difficult. Okay. Well, it doesn't make things difficult in the sense if you know what you're doing. So I think, yeah, you've just got to be more careful. I mean, this is a crash on close. It's not exactly the most pressing issue, but it would be nice to have it clean. So it's clearly the way I'm making these things. It's Okay, so this is where it's supposed to be. This is where it's supposed to be destroyed. Okay, let's see. Render is shut down. No question. Do I get the same error? No, it's called the Raptor engine. Although I've customized it, so it's like not even the same anymore. I'll show you in a second what the containers I'm using. It's specifically built for game engine stuff, so okay, not the same error. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, it's so this is my version. I mean, it's not my version in the sense that I made it or anything like that. I typed it up myself and modified bits and bobs. Yeah, it's very basic. There's a lot of things you can't do because of that. But if I take you to array, you'll see this is like the dynamically or statically allocated array. So, you know, if you wanted a statically allocated array, you have to pass in an allocator. And you have to, you know, there's no like, the default constructors are just default. You know, you can initialize it, but it won't do anything. And then you've got to shut it down explicitly. You've got to say @shut down. The reason for that is you want to allocate at the right times when it comes to game engines. You probably know this, but you know, allocations are expensive, and if you know you let the compiler or the standard dictate when things get deleted, it can end up being a bottleneck at some point or just an issue. The other thing is custom allocators are a big thing with game engines. It's important that you have different type of allocators. So yeah, it's built around that. It's built around those two ideas. But because of that, it's kind of a simpler standard template library like thing. But I like it. It works. Like, you know, I've added features myself in this as well. So, you know, if I'm missing like a copy array or something, you know, I can just write it in, or an append array or something like that. So, you know, it's chill. Yeah, I don't think it's used much at all. It's the reason I liked it is because it is literally so transparent in its simplicity. There's, you know, the most complicated thing would probably be the hash mapper, but even this is just like, you know, simple stuff. This is, like I said, this is as complicated as it gets. But you know, it works. Yeah, there's no complaints from me anyway. But the downside is, yeah, if I don't free the memory, as you're seeing with this bug, right at the end of the program, it complains that, you know, I missed something. Yes, it does what I want exactly. All right. And that's important when you're making your own game engines. You get to design your own features, and knowing what's necessary and what isn't necessary is important. Yes, definitely. I could beef up the memory management. My allocators are very basic, except for one, which is a doubly bumped allocator from both sides of a resource pool. I won't get into it. It's a bit. It comes from a library that's again built for game engine, real time applications like game engines and stuff. So, you know, it's not the generic new and delete malloc or even shared pointers. This is it's very raw. Okay, so 60, what is the size? Okay, so it's 67. Okay, basic question. What is the size of the allocated memory? Sorry, allocated. This. Let's make my assumptions. Let's challenge my assumptions. 69. And I am unable to free 67. No, it is definitely memory. Okay, it is definitely this. Weird. Yes, it can get very hairy, without a doubt. But again, my allocators are quite basic. They're not, you know, I've got a bump allocator, I've got like a linear allocator. Like I said, all of them are easy. I've got a malloc allocator, which literally is just a wrapper around malloc. So, you know, that's not quite an allocator, that's just malloc. But for the most part, the Raptor engine does what it needs to do. Yeah, especially with Vulkan. I'll tell you what, I've made mistakes with the allocator before and overwrote memory in the memory pool because I've exceeded the size of a buffer I allocated. And this is just not like a buffer like we're working with now, but like a raw piece of memory, like an array, like a static array, like a C array or something. And oof, that was a horrendous error to debug. Because I overrun the size, it corrupted a different piece of memory. So I was looking at the wrong place the whole time until I figured out that I'd overrun the size by doing some arithmetic wrong. Yeah, that took a while to fix. But for the most part, it's been quite good actually. Yeah, I do use the Vulkan memory allocator for Vulkan memory management specifically. I haven't come into contact with that being an issue. So yeah, I do use libraries when I need them. Oh, what is this issue? Ah, okay. No. Where are the... okay, so it's clearly... Sampler resources shut down. I wonder if I can just free the resource. Give me a second. If I go images to index 0, free resource or something. I need to look at the resource pool thing again, I think. Ugh, my brain. Ugh. Oh. Yeah. 100%. Like, it's cool that you used to do it, so you're probably definitely more aware of how the libraries work, so that's always a good thing. But yeah, I'm probably never ever gonna touch, unless I absolutely need to, Vulkan memory allocation. I've got enough to do. Hello. You okay? Just doing a bit of dev work. Yes, I agree. Always look inside the, you know, so you'll probably learn how to use it better, and also that's why I look. You know, I was looking at the CGLTF code before. I don't actually know. I don't think there's that much documentation on that, but because I've been inside the code so much, I know exactly. I kind of know what's going on. Yeah, I hope everyone's day is going well. Yeah, that's true. Or it's an ABI, even worse. But anyway, let's think. I'm trying to. What is the difference between these two? Oh, hang on. Hang on. I think it's okay for the creation name to have a no, like literally just be null. Because maybe that's it. I'm making a resource cache thing. Oops. And I don't need to. Yeah, maybe that's it. There's like a resource that I'm not freeing that I don't need to worry about at all. I don't know. Oh. What? Oh. Yeah, okay. Right, I need to get less distracted there, clearly. Okay. No, still the same issue. No. Unfreed resource. Where? How do I free it? And why is it different to this? Create texture. Create texture. Obviously, this takes a struct, but the code looks the same to me. Create texture from file. Create texture. Okay, there's something else. Obtain resource. That's cool. I mean, yeah, just do what works, man. If it's fast and it works, then that's it. You know, I wish I was good at Vulkan. I don't feel like I'm very good, but it is what it is. You know, one step at a time. I do study it every day though, so I will get better. Okay, memory transitions. Set flags. I'm not doing that. That's the mid levels. Yeah, I guess I should do that, shouldn't I? New MIP level 1. I mean, there isn't that much there that's different. Yeah, this is my old code, and some of it is just confusing because there's too many layers of abstraction. It's like wrappers, but within wrappers within wrappers. It's just, ugh. I mean, there's something to be said for abstraction, but yeah, that's true. Yeah, we gotta consider that. We've done well today. We've although we can't free all the memory yet for some reason. You know, we've made a lot of progress. True. Yes. Yeah, there is lack of comments, admittedly. But I'm gonna try and refactor some of this so it's less. I mean, it worked at the time. It just got my older engine just got out of hand. But I'll make a YouTube video explaining that a bit better. Renderer, destroy texture with a texture resource. That might be it. Let's see. I'm getting lazy now. Okay, images 2 I and renderer dot free. What was it? Destroy texture. Okay. There we go. Images 2. Okay, so it needs a. Wants an address because. Okay. Okay, so it's doing quite a bit more here. Right, so it's going to affect the memory, which I'm fine with, I think. Good. So that was it. I needed to free the resources that way. Now we can't claim victory yet. We've got to make sure this works with the other model type. Although I don't know. Right. Let's see. Is this going to break? If it does, I might change this a little bit then. I might do some. Nope. Okay. Also, Qt is good. Yeah. I mean, I worked on Qt when I was for a long time, but Qt3 and flipping heck. Okay, that's a W. I think we've successfully slayed that bug. We are now freeing the memory. It was a renderer dot destroy texture, not GPU destroy texture. That needs to call. Great. Brilliant. That's a big dub because we are done for the most part. Don't think there's anything else to do for this particular task. I'll just comment this out so I can understand what I was doing. that's just a comment telling me. This is here to solve a bug. Oops. That happens when allocating images from a .gb file. Cool. I think. Right, I'm just gonna check everything works with window events real quick. Full screen, this, minimize, and this. Always got to check that with Vulkan. Cool. Okay. Brilliant. I can commit this code now and continue with the refactor. What else do I need to comment? Yeah. Oh yeah. I've dealt with many Qt horrendousness. I've had people hand edit UI files, and oh my goodness. I tried to load them into Qt Designer and export it out, and it just broke so much, and it was so confusing. They also copied and pasted generic code generated code from the UI files into the code base and didn't comment it, so it just felt like, you know, I was looking at generated code that wasn't changed. Ugh. Yeah. Qt solves a lot of problems, but it also introduces a lot of problems too. But that's just the way of the world. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to commit this, I think. Yep. Let's commit this. So if you want to look at this commit, guys, it's in a branch on my GitHub. It's completely open source, but as you can see here, yeah, you've got to look for merge, right? That's my old engine's name. I'm kind of bringing in features slowly. I'll eventually merge this into master and then do merge again, introducing features at a time. I thought it would be less messy that way, but anyway. Got GLB files working. Textures upload now. We also are now parsing indices correctly. Just be aware I'm not taking anyone on. You know, if you've got a pull request or something like that, it's just gonna be read only for now. Although it's open to the public, it's you know, there's a lot that needs doing, and I know what to do, but it's if other people start getting involved, it's gonna get messy quickly. So for now, it's just gonna be a read only. But yeah, feel free. But if you want to, if you do see an issue, by the way, I'm not saying don't tell me. I'm just saying I won't take pull requests for now, anyway. Maybe in the future. GLTF files Push. Okie dokie. I think I'm probably going to call it there, guys. We have done so much, so my throat's starting to get sore from talking, so I very much appreciate everyone joining me for this stream. The fact that anyone turns up at all is crazy, so thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks for the help and keeping me on track. So yeah, I hope everyone has a good day. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.